Why everything you fear is temporary and why that's a good thing. The ancient texts put it beautifully. All conditioned things are impermanent. When you see this clearly, you become free from the suffering of attachment. Picture this. You are sitting in your office and you just got the news. The deal fell through. The promotion went to someone else. The market took a dive and your portfolio is down 30%. Or maybe it is something personal. A relationship ended, a health scare, or your teenage kid just told you they hate you. In that moment, it feels permanent. It feels like this pain, this setback, this situation is going to last forever. Your mind starts projecting into the future. I will never recover from this. This is the beginning of the end. Everything is falling apart. But here is something that might change how you see every difficult moment in your life. 2,500 years ago, a prince-turned-monk made an observation so profound that it became one of the 3 fundamental characteristics of existence in Buddhist philosophy. He noticed that absolutely everything, and I mean everything, is in a constant state of change. Nothing remains the same. Not your problems, not your successes, not your relationships, not even your thoughts from moment to moment. They called this principle Anicca, the law of impermanence. And here is what most people miss. This is not bad news. This is actually the most liberating truth you will ever understand. The hidden freedom in everything falling apart. Let me share something that will shift your perspective completely. In the original Pali texts, the Buddha did not teach impermanence as something to be sad about. He taught it as one of the doorways to freedom. Think about it. If everything is constantly changing, that means every problem you have right now is temporary. Every source of stress, every heartbreak, every failure, it is all in motion, moving toward transformation. But here is the deeper insight that most people miss. Impermanence is not just about things ending. It is about the continuous flow of change that makes growth, healing, and new possibilities available every single moment. The ancient texts use a beautiful metaphor. Life is like a river. You cannot step into the same river twice because new water is always flowing. Similarly, you are not the same person you were yesterday. Your circumstances are not fixed, and the problems that feel overwhelming today are already in the process of changing. Why your brain fights this truth. Now, here is why this concept feels counterintuitive. Your brain is wired to create the illusion of permanence. It takes snapshots of reality and convinces you that whatever you are experiencing right now is how things are. Neuroscientists call this perceptual constancy, your brain's tendency to perceive a stable world even though everything is constantly in flux. It is useful for basic functioning. You need to recognize your coffee cup as the same cup even when the lighting changes. But it becomes a problem when you apply this same mental process to situations and emotions. When you are in a difficult period, your brain says, "This is how things are now." When you are successful, it says, "I have figured it out. This is my new normal." Both perspectives miss the fundamental truth of impermanence. The Buddha taught something fascinating about this. He said that much of our suffering comes not from our actual experiences, but from our resistance to the natural flow of change. We suffer when we try to hold on to good times that are naturally passing, and we suffer when we believe bad times will never end. The millionaire's anxiety and the startup's hope. Let me give you some modern examples of how this plays out. I know successful people who live in constant anxiety about losing what they have built. They have achieved everything they wanted, but now they are terrified of change because they think it can only mean loss. This is what Buddhists call clinging to the impermanent as if it were permanent. The irony is that this clinging does not preserve anything, it just creates unnecessary suffering. On the flip side, I have seen people in the depths of career transitions, health challenges, or relationship difficulties who found incredible resilience by truly understanding impermanence. They stopped fighting the current reality and started working with the natural flow of change. Here's a story that illustrates this beautifully. There is an ancient Zen tale about a farmer whose horse ran away. His neighbors said, "How terrible." The farmer replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned with 3 wild horses. The neighbors said, "How wonderful." The farmer said, "Maybe." His son tried to ride one of the wild horses, fell off and broke his leg. "How terrible," said the neighbors. "Maybe," said the farmer. The next day, military officials came to draft young men for war, but they passed over the farmer's son because of his broken leg. The farmer understood what most people miss. Every situation contains the seeds of its own transformation. The 3 levels of impermanence. Buddhist philosophy actually identifies 3 different levels of impermanence, and understanding all 3 can radically change how you navigate challenges. The first is gross impermanence, the obvious changes like getting older, relationships ending, or businesses closing. Most people are aware of this level, though they often try to ignore it. The second is subtle impermanence, the moment-to-moment changes in your thoughts, emotions, and energy levels. Your anxiety right now is not the same anxiety you had an hour ago. Your confidence tomorrow will not be identical to your confidence today. Everything is in constant micro-movement. The third, and this is profound, is extremely subtle impermanence. According to Buddhist psychology, every moment of consciousness arises and passes away incredibly rapidly. Modern neuroscience is beginning to confirm this. Your sense of continuous experience is actually made up of discrete moments of awareness, like frames in a movie creating the illusion of smooth motion. This means that even your sense of being stuck is impermanent. Even your patterns of thinking are changeable. Nothing about your current situation is as solid as it appears. Your impermanence practice. So how do you work with this understanding practically? The key is to develop what I call impermanence vision, the ability to see the temporary nature of both your challenges and your victories. When you are facing a difficult situation, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this situation trying to teach me?" And "How might this challenge be preparing me for something I cannot yet see?" When you are experiencing success, instead of trying to freeze the moment or worrying about losing it, practice appreciating it fully while holding it lightly. Enjoy your achievements without clinging to them as permanent features of your identity. Here is a simple practice you can start today. At the end of each week, reflect on 3 things that changed during those 7 days. Maybe it was your mood about a project, a shift in a relationship, or simply noticing that a problem that seemed huge on Monday felt more manageable by Friday. The goal is not to become detached from life, but to become more skillfully attached. Appreciating the good times without desperate clinging, and enduring the difficult times without losing hope. A tool for deeper practice. To help you develop this life-changing perspective, I've created the Embracing Impermanence Weekly Reflection Journal. a practical tool that takes just 10 minutes each week but can fundamentally shift how you experience both challenges and successes. This isn't just another gratitude journal. This guided practice helps you identify patterns in how change is already working in your favor. Transform your relationship with setbacks by seeing them as temporary and educational. Appreciate good times more deeply without the anxiety of losing them. Build genuine resilience by recognizing that you've successfully navigated 100% of your difficult periods so far. Each week includes specific prompts designed to help you notice the constant flow of positive change in your life, plus emergency impermanence reminders you can use when you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed. Think of it as training wheels for developing what I call impermanence vision, the ability to see temporary difficulties as growth opportunities and temporary successes as precious gifts to be fully appreciated. Drop a yes in the comment and avail your Embracing Impermanence journal for free. The ultimate freedom. Here is the paradox of impermanence. When you truly accept that nothing lasts forever, you become free to fully engage with whatever is happening right now. You stop wasting energy trying to make temporary things permanent, and you stop suffering unnecessarily over changes that are natural and inevitable. This does not mean you stop caring about your relationships, your work, or your goals. It means you engage with them more skillfully, with less fear and more appreciation for their preciousness, precisely because they are temporary. Your current challenge will pass. Your current success will evolve. Your current emotions will shift. And in that constant change lies infinite possibility for growth, healing, and transformation. The question is not whether change will happen. It is already happening every moment. The question is whether you will resist it and suffer, or flow with it and find freedom. Remember, everything you fear losing was never permanently yours to begin with, and everything you fear will never come was never permanently out of reach either. That is not tragic. That is the source of all hope. If this perspective shifts something for you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And if you find this helpful, consider subscribing for more practical wisdom from the Buddhist tradition that can bring more peace and clarity to your daily life. Until next time, may you find freedom in the flow of change.